Hello and welcome back. This is the second episode of the Young Raven Show, and I am Karanveer, host for today. And yes,
My name is Nom Pede, and we actually have a guest speaker today. And would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Tanzin Galsen. Actually, I am a member of LGBT community and I'm a gay living in Bhutan, obviously. And currently, I'm working at Laksam, which is an NGO for people living with HIV/AIDS. So usually, my responsibility is to coordinate all the outreach workers for the people living with HIV and LGBT+.
To start off with, thank you for actually saying that you're gay. That is a very big part, and you acknowledging that fact as one of your biggest part. It's much appreciated from people like me and also other people who are actually watching this show. And I think that you're gay, but you're the part of the youth, the so-called youth that is actually involved in bringing big changes in the world, in small actions maybe. So how do you see yourself as a change maker? How do you think that you can make small differences for a bigger, better world?
So I feel that what I'm doing is just a drop in the ocean, but seeing at the potential of our youth actually. Like if I take an example for our community, I think there are lots of things that we can do actually. I think youth, we can change the world. That's my opinion of the youth.
I agree with that opinion actually, and I believe that we can change the world together, and that show is actually a
Yeah.
small initiative exactly. But in specific actions, like if I'm supposed to ask you that question, how would you choose to answer that? How are you changing yourself and the people around you and the actions for a better world?
So after I joined this community, I've been going for lots of advocacy programs. And another thing that I'm doing is the outreach work. Actually, I coordinate and I even go for the outreach and networking activities. So basically, I think we are, seeing some changes. People, I think, they are now starting to understand about the issues that LGBT people face, and through this, I think, the people from the community are coming out forward to us to talk with us actually, and I think that's what I think is the achievement that we have done so far.
Oh, that's great to hear. I actually feel that we have a syndrome in our society. I feel like our society is more stereotyped, and that's why we actually have the fear of accepting something that's different and beautiful. So every person who actually comes out as gay, lesbian, or anything, even if I come out as a different person than choosing to defy the norms of being a girl and a girl's decided roles. So that kind of syndrome is existing in the society. So in that case, how do you think you can actually target that mindset of the people in Bhutan?
So what you said, it's really true. There are lots of stereotypes and stigma going around. So basically, the reason why this stigma arises is because we use sex and gender together, and it's we don't differentiate that. We think that the sex and gender it's same, but that's not the case. There's lots of difference between what is sex and what is gender, and if you know what is sex, what is difference between sex and gender, and that day I think you will be able to understand and accept the LGBT people. And for those individuals who are in the LGBT spectrum, the acceptance has to come through yourself first.
Exactly.
I know that there are lots of stigma or perceived stigma, but you have to overcome that. The change should begin from yourself, so that you can change the world. I mean, you can change the perception of the people. That's the thing.
Because apart from your work, yourself, there are many like people. You just said that there are many affected peoples. Like the change should initiate from themselves, right? Okay, sorry. The change should come from themselves, right? The person change should begin from themselves. So, how or what would you suggest to the people that are hiding behind or that are unable to come forward?
No, first of all is that you should know. I would like to inform you all that being gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, there's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
And it's not a choice. We didn't choose to be like this. We were born like this actually. So I would say that you know, just be yourself. Coming out doesn't mean that you have to come. You have to be like this, like me, like talk to like these forums and come into the media. It doesn't mean that. Except coming out, it usually means first step is accepting yourself. If you accept yourself, then everything is going to be fine with you.
Yeah, but you said like coming out doesn't necessarily have to be like you have to come in front of shows and stuff and forums, but you actually came on one of the previous shows, and I really appreciate that, because when you actually do that, there's always this one person who makes the first step, and you made the first step, and I believe that there are many gay people who again make the second steps, and then we will have these gay people who are not actually ashamed to call themselves gay, so that even though you said it's not necessary, but I really appreciate you doing that. And now you have accepted yourself as a gay person, right? And most of us have accepted. So in your circle of friends and family, how do they actually reciprocate to the change? Like, I believe that it took time for you, a phase for you to accept the change, that you were gay, but I choose to accept it from now onwards. So that is the phase that you actually chose in the mid process of your life. So now that you are gay and you come forward, how does your family, friends, and your circle of people actually reciprocate to that?
No, I think my family, they accept me despite of few objections that I had from my relatives actually.
Yeah. Can I get more personal? What kind of objections that would be? If you would like to share, that would be to you.
So if I talk generally, so what people say is like, it has never happened that a boy loves a boy. That's basically what parents feel. But I think, like I said, the first hurdle is to accept yourself. That takes lots of time. The second thing you need to do is make people understand. You have to explain them. Since we are human, in one point of time, they will obviously, understand you and accept you as who you are. I think. And saying that, I think it becomes your, obligation or your duty to explain to them. I feel that if I had went to my parents saying that I'm a gay, and if I hadn't, explained them anything at all, I think still they wouldn't have understood me. But once I accepted myself, I went there, I explained to them, and they said, yeah, okay, now I understand. But it takes time, yeah. It takes time. Changes are, change is people resist change, and it takes time for change, But the effort you put in, the courage you show, it's totally worth it actually. I think you should start by accepting yourself and to make, the people around you understand about yourself. That's the thing you should do.
Okay, so do you have final words or any final statement for our audience today?
Yeah, I'd like to say something, This is for people who think that being gay, lesbian, bisexual or transgender is a choice, If being gay was a choice, then when did you choose to become straight? I think that should be the question that you should reflect on.
Okay, so that was really great. So I think with your life journey, many of us get inspired, many of the audience get inspired. So Thank you all for watching. So this is the Raven Show, and we host this program every Saturday in the evening. So if you would like to raise your voice, or if you want to speak in any of the topic which you think is the issue, so you are always welcome. And if you want to really do it, please contact in the link below. So thank you.
Kata.
7, 8, 9, 10.